Hello and welcome to the SpiderNerd.com podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Weber, aka SpiderNerd, the webmaster of the site. And joining me today for the panel is Mr. Thomas Patterson.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going, Thomas? What you been up to this week?
I went to go see 3 Days to Kill just recently, like today. And then this past week, I worked a whole bunch, so I don't have to work this weekend. So now I get the whole weekend to myself. Finally!
You lucky son of a bitch, I have to work in about 3 hours.
Ha. Ha.
Yeah, it absolutely sucks. But don't worry, I only have to work 4 hours tonight, so not really that concerned about it.
Mm-hmm.
And also today, joining us for the panel, we have Mr. James Markin.
Yo, yo, yo!
How's it going, James? What you been up to this week?
It's been going pretty good for me, mostly just job hunting right about now. And that's about it. Not really much else to talk about for me.
Job hunting, the life of the unemployed.
Yeah.
Are you collecting unemployment?
No.
Oh, okay. I know my friend's sister is. She just had a baby, and so she couldn't get a job. So she's just collecting unemployment right now.
Well, all the jobs that I have had, because the economy's kind of fucked up here, a lot of people would be hired for really part-time time and be gone after a few weeks. So you can't really collect unemployment over just a couple bucks.
Yeah, and they take you off unemployment if you have a part-time job, so yeah.
Let me play a sad song on the world's smallest violin.
Is that a SpongeBob? Is that a SpongeBob reference?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's always a good time for a SpongeBob reference.
Yes,
guys,
just
that
like the
joke's been around for years. The SpongeBob was just taking a joke that already existed about the world's smallest violin.
Well, whatever. I don't care. I don't care who originally came up with the joke. As far as I'm concerned, SpongeBob came up with it. So
yes, because that was the first thing I watched with it on it.
Yeah, so that's where I know it from.
Mm-hmm.
But as for myself this week, what have I been doing? Well, I was having kind of a bad day on Thursday, and I'm always kind of brightened up by buying things, which is probably not a good thing.
Yeah, that's probably a bad sign for how your financial future's going.
Yeah, that's probably a bad thing.
It's like that scene from Austin Powers. When I'm unhappy because I eat because I'm unhappy. Just replace eating with shopping what you did.
Yeah, but I went and blew $200 on eBay.
Oh, are you serious? $200?
I am not.
You're just like I got $200.
Well, I got paid this week.
I guess I can go blow it. It's just burning a hole in my pocket right there. I feel it.
Thomas, he's not married. He doesn't have no kids. He can blow his money on whatever the hell he wants.
And he's not out of school yet, so his parents still pay for all of his expenses.
Except for my cell phone bill, so I have to pay that. But I paid that already, so... I'm
spoiled. I don't even pay my cell phone bill. Oh, yeah!
Oh, see, I have to pay my cell phone bill by myself. But, see, I paid my cell phone bill, and then I was like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I kind of want to buy some stuff. So I went and blew $200 on action figures.
So when you're feeling upset, you blow $200 on things?
On toys.
This sounds like a really, really, really bad thing.
Yeah, this sounds horrible. But I went and blew $200 on a bunch of Spider-Man figures from the 90s, animated series.
Oh.
Tell me they were still in the box.
Don't worry.
$200?
Yeah, $200, they were still in the box.
Okay.
Unopened, never opened, mint condition, fine.
Yeah, but now the action figures that they have today suck. I went to Target, and I was looking at, some of the Spider-Man 2 toys that they came out with. They're not, articulating at all. They're really tiny and everything, and I'm like, I'm glad I don't buy action figures anymore, but seriously, what about all the kids that actually care about this? They don't get the quality action figures I used to get back in the day.
I know. When I used to play with action figures, it's like, dude, they were way better than what they were today. And way cheaper, too. Because
they were.
Marvel Legends are like, what, $20 now?
Yeah, those are the actually good ones. But the ones that are like $10 are crap.
Really bad. I saw them at the Walmart, and I saw new Spider-Man toys, and then I looked at them. There's no articulation to them whatsoever. Like literally, it's just arm goes up.
They can move their shoulder, and then they can move their legs, and then their head a little bit. But other than that, that's it.
And then they're not even that well detailed. I mean, like there's no on the ones I saw. There's like no webbing on Spider-Man. And
really?
Yeah. And
No. I saw webbing on Spider-Man when I went to go see him.
Well, then my Walmart had fucked up ones because they did not have no webbing on them, and they
they were probably there's a whole bunch of different types and everything. Yeah. So.
And then there's the Iron Spider one where it doesn't even have like the little claw-like things that came out of his bag.
Are you serious? They don't even come with those? It's the Iron Spider. That's one of the things that it's supposed to have.
Unless there's
This is what happens when you put Marvel back in control of merchandising.
I'm just telling you, dude. I saw the toy like that.
Oh my gosh. Marvel sucks at merchandising, apparently. Do not give it back to them. But Sony already did, so there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, but off the top of my head, what figures I picked up the Green Goblin, the Hobgoblin, Doc Ock, Carnage, Venom, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Kingpin, Lizard, and Alistair Smythe. Those are the ones I can remember.
They were still in the box, and they only cost $200?
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good deal, but the fact that you spent $200 because you were having a bad day still alarms me.
Yeah. Well, what alarms you more? The fact that when I have a bad day, I buy things, or when I have a bad day, I make my hair go all emo? What alarms you more?
The second part. What the... Don't go all Spider-Man 3 Peter Parker on me, bro.
I go the reverse way. I don't go my hair to the left. I go to the right.
Oh, I'm sorry. So such a big difference right there. It blows my mind. I'm sorry. I retract that previous statement.
Okay.
Jonathan, you remind me of 17-year-old me. It was 2007. My Chemical Romance Black Parade was sweeping the whole punk, emo, gothic world, and I myself had the emo haircut. And because I was a Spider-Man fan, people called me Peter Parker because of Spider-Man 3.
At my school, emo is apparently in, so...
Are you serious?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know why, but it is.
At my school, they're like all freaking out because a couple of kids at a rival school across the street committed suicide, like a whole bunch of them, like 5 in 1 week. And so everyone's like, "You are loved," writing "You are loved" on the lockers and stuff. And I'm like, what's that gonna do? The only love they can get is going on the lockers. So what does that tell them?
Okay. I'm not gonna comment on that.
But I'm absolutely serious. That just makes it. Wouldn't that make you feel more lonely if you got something on your locker and you didn't get anything else?
I'm seriously not going to comment on that. I don't want to. I just don't want to.
Oh my gosh! I don't think this get me hate mail.
Yeah, you need to shut your mouth.
I don't think that's going to get me hate mail. I think that's an honest, legitimate complaint.
I guess we should probably just go on to the news because
we're gonna be here all day.
Yeah, we're gonna be here all day if we keep this up, and I don't have time to be here all day because I got work in 3 hours. But we got some news stories to talk about this week in terms of Spider-Man. We actually got 6 this week, which is I think the most news stories we've ever had, which is actually kind of interesting.
Just wait until the Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out. Oh my god.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 that's going to be an epic podcast. I'd expect
Oh my god.
I'm probably just overestimating this, but I'm honestly guessing that that's probably going to be a 3 to 4 hour show.
Yeah, and on top of that with the news, we might have to actually do 2 shows because they're going to come out with all this news like, "Oh, this is what's going to happen in The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Oh, guys." And on top of that, they'll pull a stunt like they did before. Avi Arad will be like, "Yeah, Spider-Man can join the Avengers." Like before, I remember at Comic-Con when they released the Amazing Spider-Man footage, they're like, "No, Spider-Man doesn't need to join the Avengers." And then like a month before it comes out, he's like, "Yeah, he could join it." So you watch, it's going to happen again.
Yeah, it's
that exact same way.
Avi Arad has no idea how to make up his mind.
Because some people don't agree with me on some of the Spider-Man boards, but I honestly think because of all the stuff we've heard about them wanting to put Oscorp in the Avengers, the way how this Spider-Man now looks like comic book Spider-Man with the suit with the big eyes and everything, And I'm saying it right now. I don't care what other people say. Spider-Man is, I think they made a deal, and he is technically a part of that Marvel universe. It's just Sony's making his movies.
I think that they're probably going to end up tying it in eventually. I think that what they're doing right now is there's been a few hints that I've been thinking about that kind of tie him into that, and I was actually planning on doing a video on it and posting it on the SpiderNerd YouTube channel because I've kind of been neglecting that because of everything that I've been doing. But I was gonna post a video about that on my thoughts on that, and it's. I definitely agree with you. I think that they're going to come out with something. I think they already made a deal, and judging by just how much more involved Marvel Studios is in all the Sony movies. Like, you talk to Mark Webb. Mark Webb's like, oh, no, we had to ask Marvel Studios about this, this, and this, and this. And you list off all these things. It's like Fox doesn't have that level of involvement with Marvel Studios whatsoever. So I definitely agree with you. I think that there's something going on.
If these movies were not meant to be taken in the same universe, kind of as the Iron Man and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Thor and Avengers and stuff like that, why would they focus so hard, even during the first Amazing Spider-Man, to please Marvel Studios?
I don't know.
They would have just went their own way. We got the rights to this character. We're doing our own thing. The whole fact that they are literally spending their time saying, no, we had to ask Marvel, how do we handle Uncle Ben's death? How do we handle Electro? How do we handle this? How do we handle that? And asking their input shows you that they have something up their sleeve about Spider-Man. Not maybe right now, but maybe when we do Avengers 3, he makes a cameo or whatever.
Yeah, he was in the Thanos story. And then on top of that, like, you talk to any, like, general audience, and they don't care what properties are owned by whom, because I guess they just don't know. And they're thinking, Spider-Man's in the MCU. When is he finally going to join the Avengers? They keep saying that about Fox as well, but, you know.
That's why I think they're doing the Fantastic Four. I think they're doing it because they realize, we're not going to be able to get our guys into these Avenger movies, so if we put the Fantastic Four reboot in here, maybe we can have an X-Men Fantastic Four Ultimate team up.
Yeah, that seems like the most convoluted team up you could possibly come up with. It's like just grabbing at something that you can finally find. But we're not talking about Fox. I'm just saying that I definitely think that that's in the cards.
All right. Well, moving on to news stories now. Because I don't want this podcast to go for 2 hours. I want to have time to relax before I go to work. But our first news story of the day is that some Amazing Spider-Man 2 Mini-Mate things have been revealed at Toy Fair, and some of them include little Mini-Mate versions of Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Some of them include Spider-Man, like a fireman Spider-Man and Electro. Some of them include the Green Goblin, and some include Paul Giamatti and BJ Novak. So, James, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on these Mini-Mates here?
I like them, from what I can tell. They look pretty cool and decent. Some of them, I like how they're almost not even comic book characters. Like, oh wait, that is Electro. I thought that was Hydro Man at first because it looks like water in the toy. Sorry, I was saying, oh, they got even some non-comic book characters in here. Nope. But yeah, I like them. The Green Goblin one is kind of awesome how it looks. My only complaint is the Peter Parker one because it's the worst secret identity ever because the Spider-Man suit is clearly, in just covering up with a jacket. So if that's my only complaint, then that tells you how much I like these things. And if I see them in the stores, I'll probably pick them up. All
right, Thomas, thoughts on the Mini-Mates?
Mini-Mates have been a big thing for, like, every Spider-Man film for as long as I can remember. Like, they've been coming out. I just don't like the way Mini-Mates look in general, so I probably won't pick them up. I don't like the blockheads. I much prefer, like, the Lego minifigures. And I really am still hoping that they're going to release a movie set for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I sincerely doubt it. I just really want one. But I probably won't pick these up. I just don't like the Mini-Mates in general.
Are these Legos or...
They're sort of like Legos, but minifigures are a lot less articulated as well. But I think that they have a better... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I just like Legos better in general, so...
Yeah, my thoughts on these mini-mates here, there's not really much to talk about here. I think it's cool, I guess. I think it's kind of cool that we're getting one of BJ Novak and one of Fireman Spider-Man. I think that's kind of cool, but really there's not much to talk about here. They have the Gwen...
That's a movie, the Fireman Spider-Man. Like, maybe he puts the hat on to take out Electro or something.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that in an earlier episode.
Yeah, because it was a still, and there was nothing else to talk about that week.
Yeah, that's probably going to be how he takes down Electro.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, I remember
that. That's how he takes down Electro. I actually would enjoy that. Let me just say that. Because then it is classic Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, how they would write it.
Because that's how he took Electro down in Amazing Number 9 with a water hose.
Yeah, but even adding the hat to it is just like classic Steve Ditko. Wow, fire's out, man, or something stupid.
Yeah, I could imagine that, but the only issue I have with it is not because it's not because of the still itself, it's because someone commented on it. This looks like something that would happen in the Ultimate Spider-Man show, someone who actually likes Ultimate Spider-Man, and now I hate the image in and of itself.
That's horrible, Thomas. That's discrimination.
Against Ultimate Spider-Man? I hate Ultimate Spider-Man TV show. I absolutely hate that show.
We all do.
I hope I guarantee it's going to be executed better than Ultimate Spider-Man would execute it, but as of right now, I just don't really like the image.
Oh God!
What?
Sorry, guys, but I just remember that Jonathan wants me to review Ultimate Spider-Man for the for the website. God damn it! Thanks for reminding me too.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's a little off-air, little behind-the-scenes tidbit for you guys. After James's first podcast, he emails me, "Hey man, is there anything I can do for the site to help us out? I want to help this website." And I'm like, "You want to review the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon?" And his exact words were, and I quote, "That show is still on? Haha, sure man, I'll do it."
The show is still on. Yes, it is. And Jeff Loeb had to point out, it's the longest-running Spider-Man show. Look how great it is. Clearly, it is the best one out of the bunch.
Excuse me, it is not yet the longest-running Spider-Man show. 52 episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man versus 65 episodes of 90s Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they said that they've already got all those episodes into production, so it'll be 78, yeah. At the end of the season.
Spectacular Spider-Man is one of the short... Spider-Man Amazing Friends, I think, is the shortest one. But Spectacular, with 2 seasons, only 13 episodes each, is one of the shortest. And it's better than any 70 episodes of Ultimate. I'm just saying right now.
Oh, absolutely. I would watch Spectacular a million times over just one episode of Ultimate Spider-Man.
I would take the 60s Spider-Man cartoon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd take that too. It's superior in every way to Ultimate Spider-Man. And I don't mean that to insult people who do like it, because I know there are a good amount of people that do like it. But I don't think that it kind of embodies the character that I wanted to see on the screen after getting so spoiled by Spectacular Spider-Man. And isn't it odd that when Marvel gets the animation rights back, it is one of the worst Spider-Man cartoons compared to Spectacular Spider-Man, and everyone always complains about Sony having the movie rights.
Yeah. I think I smell an Ultimate Spider-Man roundtable coming up one of these weeks here.
Okay. Well, that sounds great.
Jonathan, I haven't watched a single episode since the first episode until I have to start reviewing the new episodes.
God.
Literally, my whole thing will just be, I watched the first episode, it sucked. Moving on.
Yeah, you'll be writing your review. It's like the Ultimate Spider-Man Season 3, Episode 1 review. It sucked.
F.
I'll do that just for you guys now. The first review I do for comments on the podcast is just lame. One word, done. Lame.
Absolutely awful. F-.
The sad thing is, Me just writing down that one word lame is already better writing than that whole goddamn show is that.
Yeah, probably it actually is. I can guarantee it. Although, from what I've heard, the season 2 finale wasn't actually that bad. That it kind of embodied the character the way that he was supposed to. I still haven't watched it, but from what I've heard from John's review of it, it was pretty good. So.
Yeah, I gave it an A. Yes, so it actually did embody the character very well. I very much enjoyed that episode. But final thoughts on these mini-mates here? Anybody?
Getting off track again. Okay. The mini-mates, they're cool, I guess. If you're into that kind of thing, I'm really not. So
I'm not into them, but I actually like the look of them, so I might pick them up if I see them.
All right, my final thoughts. Probably not going to pick these up, but they're decent looking, I guess. So next news topic we're going to talk about. We're actually going to save the behind-the-scenes featurettes for last.
Oh, you're such a buzzkill.
Yeah, but see, I want to talk about those last because those are videos. But
okay. Mm-hmm.
We got news this week that Spider-Man and his amazing friends are going to be reunited in an upcoming issue of Amazing X-Men. Amazing X-Men number 7 is going to be written by Catherine Immonen and drawn by Paco Medina, covered by Chris Anka, and guest starring the Amazing Spider-Man. Iceman, Firestar, and Spider-Man renew their amazing friendship to save New York City. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. So, Thomas, we'll start with you. Do you plan to pick this issue up?
It's gonna be hard not to. I mean, like, I haven't watched too much of Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends, but I've watched a little bit of it. And even though Galvazin, I believe his voice actor was in that show, is not my favorite for the character, I did enjoy the episodes that I watched. So I'll probably pick this up just out of nostalgia for like just that kind of classic-ish idea of it. So yeah, I'll probably pick it up.
All right, James, what are your thoughts on this?
I like it. I liked it when Ultimate Spider-Man did their homage to the Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends with Ultimate Firestar's premiere. And I actually do enjoy Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends. I have watched every episode on Netflix, and they're just Spider-Man cheesy cartoon of the 80s at their finest. Like, I still remember the one issue, if I can get off topic, one episode for a second, if I can get off topic, where Iceman's on a date with a girl. And he's walking outside, and the Green Goblin comes flying in with a Goblin glider, takes her up in the air, and then flies over. And he goes, "Hey, that guy dressed up as the Green Goblin just took my date away. Wait a second. He's outside. Where's the string? He must really be the Green Goblin."
I know. That's my favorite episode of the whole series. That's absolutely fantastic.
Norman, Mr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde. But anyways, I'll pick it up because I'll just love it. And if they got like little nods to the cartoon like that, like maybe a villain coming in and taking Iceman's girlfriend and him saying, "Wait, you must really be a supervillain." If they have like little nods to that, I will just love that issue so much.
All right. As for myself, I'll probably pick this issue up. I'm not really too big into picking up titles that aren't Spider-Man. But you know what? If it's got Spider-Man and his amazing friends in it, then I'd say that's got me sold because
it's an offer that you can't refuse.
I absolutely adored that series as a kid because when I was a kid, they would run reruns of both the 90s series and the Amazing Friends series on TV. And I watched both, and I adored both. And it was just... I honestly have so much nostalgia for this series that I'm honestly going to have to pick this issue up. I'm really going to have to. I'm willing to pay an extra $3.99 during that month for Amazing X-Men number 7, just for these three. But yeah, it's really.
Sorry, guys, that's my computer.
I was gonna say, what the hell was that? But
it was a monster grunting at superheroes wearing spandex. Let's just put it that way.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get a certain message board mad at me that I'm getting off topic about another superhero thing. Which, fun fact, if it wasn't for Spider-Man, Power Rangers would have never existed.
I didn't know that.
What was it? Was it the Japanese cartoon that inspired that?
Okay, here it is. Long story short. Power Rangers began in Japan in 1975 as the name Go Ranger. few years later, they started doing the costume change and cast change as a card theme scene called Jacka. They tried to adapt it for the older fans in Japan that grew up with the kids that grew up with the first original series by making a more teen adult one that dealt with drugs. Well, they forgot that this is mainly a kid's show with spandex, so the ratings sucked and they got canceled. It was replaced by the same company with a Spider-Man Japanese show. They got huge ratings and a giant robot. So the next year they wanted to follow up it with a Captain America show with a giant robot. And then they decided midway through it, Marvel's involvement kind of changed. They didn't want to have too much involvement with the show. So they changed it into another Sentai show, which is the Japanese name for Power Rangers. And then the show has continued ever since in Japan. So Spider-Man and the huge ratings of it and its giant robot literally made Power Rangers, because then it would never got made in America like 15 years later.
That's an interesting fun fact. Thank you for sharing that, James.
Yeah, I did not know that they were that connected. That's interesting.
I honestly didn't know that, so that's actually,
yeah, me neither.
That's honestly kind of cool.
Yeah.
But back on the topic of Amazing X-Men number 7, definitely going to pick this issue up. I don't know who any of the creative team are, but you know what? Just based on the fact that it's Firestar, Spider-Man, and Iceman, they've got my money. So, final thoughts on Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends reunion?
Probably going to get it. And definitely has the nostalgia factor working for it, so.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Do. I'm going to be hearing that theme song throughout the whole issue. Just the do that they just kept repeating for a minute.
Do.
I demand that dog, whatever the tiger or whatever the hell that dog was named. I demand that being in the episode.
Ms. Lion?
Yeah, Miss Lion, whatever the hell it was called. I demand that being in that issue somewhere.
I love Ms. Lion. All right, but moving off from that topic, we got a new still of the Green Goblin for Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't know if anyone here has any thoughts on this, but I just thought I'd bring it up. Thomas actually pointed out to me before the show that the headline I wrote, New Goblin still for TASM 2, he actually thought I was talking about New Goblin, not New Green Goblin. So maybe I'll change the headline. I might not. I might just do that to F with people. But
Spider-Man 3 flashbacks, man. Crazy.
I actually liked Spider-Man 3.
You know what? It wasn't that bad. It's not as bad as everyone points out it to be. It's a alrightly enjoyable film. I just think it had so much more potential to be so much better. So,
like, I see the problems with Spider-Man 3. It's just, at the end of the day, I still walked out of the theater in really enjoying that movie.
Yeah, I saw the movie when I was 9, and I absolutely loved it. So
I saw it opening night.
So did I.
The next day was a freaking school day for high school, and I only got 3 hours of sleep. And I actually missed the next day because I overslept, but whatever.
Right.
That's what I'm doing for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, guys. Totally 10 o'clock p.m. showing, because they have early showings at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to go see it then. Rock.
Yeah, this summer I'm going to be really busy with midnight premieres. I'm going to, with Guardians of the Galaxy, Godzilla, Spider-Man, Captain America. I don't even think I'm going to get any sleep this summer. Let's just say that.
All right, but does anyone have any thoughts on this picture of Spider-Man and Dane DeHaan here?
This is definitely during the final battle that they've been teasing for quite a while. So
I like this Goblin suit and his face with that grin.
He looks completely insane. That's the best part about it, though.
What I like about it is just the way how the hair looks with the Will's peak on his head and that grin. I know it's no mask, but if you can just Photoshop that hair purple and then the skin green, it's like a Goblin mask. I kid you not. It looks like an Alex Rock's drawing of how Harry would look in the mask.
Yeah, I know. But his skin even does look a little greener. Like, I mean, there are a lot of just like pictures of him, and a lot of people were like, "Why is he so pale?" I think he actually turned a little unique shade of green, a little bit.
I can answer all those questions for you right now. Goblin formula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm calling that right now. The reason why he snapped is because in that deathbed scene where Norman's in the bed and he's telling Harry whatever it is, and about Peter
Not
Parker.
everyone has a happy ending.
Yeah, he tells Harry, in order to avenge me or whatever, he tells him you got to take the formula. And of course, classic Goblin fashion, an Osborn takes the formula, they go insane.
And then they try to kill Spider-Man, and then they end up killing Gwen.
I'm calling a twist right now. Calling a twist. All right, so we all know that Harry, kind of would probably take the formula, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll probably be more Goblin Green, and the Green Goblin actually ends up being Norman Osborn in the end. I don't think this will actually end up being true, but I'm just going to call it right now just in case it is. Spectacular Spider-Man type twist.
That's Dane DeHaan's face, though.
I know.
I think what he means is Norman's manipulating Harry as a Goblin. Like Norman is the traditional Green Goblin behind the scenes, but he's manipulating Harry to be his fall guy and doing all the dirty work.
No, I'm saying that Norman Osborn being healthy is going to be played by Dane DeHaan. And everyone's going to be thinking it's Harry Osborn, but it really turns out to be Norman Osborn. It's all a trick.
What? Norman puts his brain in Harry? What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. What the hell are you
I'm saying that when... Well, I mean, Chris Cooper and Dane DeHaan look relatively similar. And as we know, Chris Cooper is playing the Norman Osborn on his deathbed. So I'm just saying that with all the facial features all messed up, Dane DeHaan could conceivably play a healthier Norman Osborn in the suit.
Okay, I'm going to just ignore that you even just said that.
So the suit de-ages him back to being a teenager where he's a splitting image of his son?
Dude, he's not Silvermane.
No, he's not. He's not going to de-age. I just think that that's the way he looks dementedly. And I don't even think that it looks too much like Harry, to be quite honest.
Yeah, because his face is deformed.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Maybe, and since Dane DeHaan's posting it all over the internet, you would think that it'd be more of a spoilery type thing, that it's, hey, maybe it's, someone different. I think I'm wrong. I definitely do. I'm not going to say that I'm absolutely right, but I think it's a possibility.
I'm just stating right now, man, I think you're full of shit. If Norman has anything to do with this, he's manipulating Harry from behind the scenes. I was the mastermind all along. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but that sounds too Iron Man 3 to me, so I'm going to stick with my thing.
Well, it wouldn't be, because it's not like some random guy.
It is Iron Man 3.
It
is Iron Man 3 all over again.
No, it wouldn't be, because everybody and their dog already knows that Norman and Harry were both Green Goblins. Mandarin, for general viewing public, was Kingsley until they revealed...
Killian?
No, Ben Kingsley. That was the actor who played him.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Swerve, he's not the main bad guy, it's the other guy. This one, though, anybody who has seen the Raimi trilogies know that both Harry and Norman are goblins. So if you do the whole Harry's the Green Goblin doing the dirty work, but Norman's manipulating him behind the scenes, people will buy it because they already know how Norman and Harry are from the first trilogy.
Yeah, I don't really dig the idea that people need to watch the Raimi trilogy in order to understand this one. So
yeah,
but it's not that. It's the Green Goblin. That's like the Joker.
Okay, all right. I even said that it's probably not going to be true, but I want to keep my options open and saying I told you so, just in case they pull a spectacular Spider-Man twist out of this. I don't think it's going to happen, and right after this, I'm just going to go along with a different theory. This has nothing to do with it. Let's just say Harry's the Green Goblin, and Green Goblin takes down Spider-Man, and then after this scene, he kills Gwen.
Okay. Oh, and let me just say this right now. Everybody dubbed William Dafoe Spider-Man suit as Power Ranger Goblin or whatever. I'm dubbing this one officially because the way it looks, the way the knee pads and that whole shoulder arm thing is, Mass Effect Goblin. Because that's what it looks like. It looks like Commander Shepard would wear from the Mass Effect video games.
Yeah, it does, and it definitely looks more like a prototype suit. So, I'm just gonna go along with the fact that it's Harry. Norman's gonna be wearing the final version of the suit in the next movie when he actually becomes the Green Goblin. So
hopefully he has the mask.
I don't think he'll need the mask. I think that his face will be deformed too. I would just like his hair to turn purple.
Well, yeah, if they do something where like maybe a little bit more showing the whole his face went green and the hair does turn kind of this purplish dark hair color.
Yeah, shade.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Yep.
All right, so my thoughts on this Green Goblin still, it's there. I really don't have any insane theories like Thomas does, but
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell he meant by maybe it's really Norman who just happens to look like Harry.
Yeah, I know. I'm honestly still trying to process that.
The Clone Saga, did he clone Harry? What?
But you know what? This Green Goblin still, it's there. So, final thoughts on it, anybody?
I think that I'm just gonna actually just ditch my whole theory. I think it's stupid anyway. Harry's the Green Goblin, and I'm really glad that they're making him look absolutely incredibly insane, which is something that you didn't really get with the first one in the Raimi trilogy, because his mask kind of kept him from making any emotional gestures, like crazy gestures. This one's gonna actually allow him to make those facial gestures that we see in the comics, because the mask actually moves with the face. But
I loved how in the first movie how Defoe's mask was. You know, it was like this still, almost like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. You don't know what's underneath that mask. But when he flips open the eyes and you just see those evil, insane eyes with that still smile face, as a 12-year-old me who was sitting in that movie theater watching Spider-Man 1, I love that. I thought that was the most spookiest, scariest, craziest looking thing I have ever saw.
I think that the concept art that we saw for the original costume that they were going to go with until Defoe said he didn't want to, that would have been much creepier, personally.
I agree, but for what we got, I liked it. Like, I think I said that before on the show.
Yeah. So, all right, moving off of our final written article news topic. It's not our final news topic, but it's our final written article news topic. This one isn't actually on our website. This is actually on CBR.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't feel like posting all the solicitations on the site. But ultimately, we got the May solicitations this week. And we're not going to talk about all the solicitations, but there are things I do want to talk about in them. So first off, we got confirmation through these solicitations that the main Amazing Spider-Man book, at least for now, is only going to be one a month. So thoughts on that?
I think it's actually, I kind of saw this one coming, because Dan Slott even said that like the perfect kind of work schedule for him is just 2 issues a month. And since he's writing Silver Surfer, and he's also kind of writing this miniseries, and then the Amazing Spider-Man, I think he's going to have his hands full for quite a bit. So I definitely expected this to be that way. And I think I actually said that I thought it was going to be one a month last week. But yeah, I definitely think that this is actually a smart move, because of just the amount of Spider-Man content that we're getting. It's going to be a nice 2 months, April and May. So I'm happy about it.
All right, James, thoughts on one a month schedule?
I like it. Only if there's a cellular title after Learning to Crawl ends.
Spider-Man 2099.
And again, I'll say it. I give Dan Slott shit before, but I do like his writing. But I do think that one thing that have hurt him since the Brain Trust thing ended with the Brandon Day era is that he was the sole voice of Spider-Man. So if you didn't like his work, tough luck. You had no alternative besides Ultimate, maybe. So if they do that, I hope it's a different writer writing a different Spider-Man storyline with a different artist. That way you got your option about, what Spider-Man you want to follow.
Yeah, I think it's actually good to have a consistent writer behind him, to be quite honest, because then you're not getting 2 different versions of Spider-Man. And I actually do legitimately like Dan Slott's version of Peter Parker. I don't think he's too immature, like everyone keeps saying. And I think that I think a lot of people just judge that down to like the fact that he makes jokes. But if you take that away from Spider-Man, he's no longer Spider-Man. So
it's not just him, but there's other stuff that Peter Parker would never say, even when he was a college kid back in the 70s. Well, obviously because of Comic Code. But if the Comic Code did not exist, there'd be stuff he wouldn't say. Like there's an issue where he's trying to hide his Spider-Man stuff from Aunt May, and he's telling her, "Just a second, I'm jerking off." He literally said that to her. Peter Parker. It's like Peter Parker couldn't come up with anything else besides "Don't come in here, I'm choking the chicken. I'm hiding my point." And it goes along with it like it's no big deal. The lady used to have a heart attack over every little goddamn thing in the old days about poor old puny Peter. It's just okay with this.
Well, to be fair, he did grow up, so I think that also kind of goes along with it. But on top of that, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. That is a little bit of an immature thing to say. I actually like I think the Amazing Spider-Man 2 thing that they're doing with Peter Parker and Aunt May is a lot more mature than that, and definitely emulates it a lot better. But
I was watching
did not remember that.
the American flag, my flag. No one washes a flag.
Not anymore.
No one washes a flag.
All right, laundry sheriff.
I demand now that someday somebody in the comics that writing one day in the future that wants to make references in the movie actually has Spider-Man take down a villain called the Laundry Sheriff who attacks laundromats.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I could actually imagine it. I could actually imagine just a quick one-off about that. I could actually imagine something like that happening.
Like the beginning of a storyline in one issue, Peter's swinging by, he sees people screaming, help us, and it's like 24-hour laundromat. Spider-Man swings in, and then here's a guy wearing a Wild West sheriff outfit shooting guns up in the air saying, "I'm the laundry sheriff."
Hey, maybe that's part of learning to crawl.
Oh my god, I could totally see that now. Yeah, definitely.
That'd be amazing. That would be absolutely fantastic.
And the best part is somebody who's super over the top. Oh no, Captain America is also in that room. He's washing his suit, and the person says, "Nobody washes the flag."
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yep. Maybe James should consider, going to Marvel and taking over that title.
Yeah, can we make James the writer of Spider-Man?
Yeah. Go do Ultimate Spider-Man. That way you can write him as immature as you want.
Yes. But getting back on topic with the solicitations, the first thing, the main thing I want to talk about with this is the solicitation for Amazing Spider-Man #2, written by Dan Slott, art and cover by Humberto Ramos, variant cover by Mike Deodato. Electro's power is out of control, and only one person can fix it. The Superior Spider-Man. Wait, this book's The Amazing Spider-Man now, so we're probably out of luck. Plus, that thing that freaked you out last issue, there's more on that. The Return of You-Know-Who, there's much more on that. Action, drama, surprises, there's more of everything. 32 pages, rated T, $3.99. Can we drop Superior, please? I don't need Superior to be constantly referenced anymore. It's done.
The Return of You-Know-Who really scares me. I think that's Otto.
No, I don't. They are tying in Electro. They're tying in Amazing Spider-Man. I think
it's Green Goblin.
No, I think it's Gwen or a clone.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. No way. No way. They would never do that.
What if? Now, go along with me. Okay, Carly Cooper has blonde hair. Now, this is a crazy fan theory, and it's probably never going to happen. It's going to be Thomas.
Oh, God, no.
What if Norman brainwashed Carly into thinking she's Gwen? Or she is all along Gwen or something.
Okay, that was a lot better than what I was thinking you were going to say.
What? The Goblin screwed her too?
No, I was thinking that you were going to say that Carly Cooper is actually Gwen, and that she was just brainwashed into thinking she was Carly Cooper in the first place.
No. Have Carly think she's Gwen, and Goblin made her look like Gwen. That way Peter might actually think it's Gwen, even though that's completely stupid because he already saw a splitting image of her and her own daughter and a clone of her. But that's stupid writing. But I have a feeling it's going to be Gwen because it's a movie tie-in, and it's the thing that could piss off fans, and it's the twist. Peter's going to open the door, Gwen's waiting for him.
Oh, they don't really have... The Amazing Spider-Man came out, though, and they didn't have anything to do with Gwen. They just had the lizard story, so I don't know if that would actually work, but I do think that they might actually bring in Harry Osborn to be the Green Goblin to tie into the movie.
What if he's the Goblin right now?
Thomas, think about it.
That is a possibility.
Thomas, you go see the movie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They kill off Gwen. You go home. You read the new issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Gwen's right there. Wouldn't you go, what the fuck?
I'm really hoping that they don't do something like that.
It's just because Dan Slott's been promising this is going to piss you off more than Superior did, and you're gonna.
Yeah. That's how he basically markets issues now. Is just
I know, but going by him and how he's been marketing stuff, the only way I can see him raising the bar, other than because I think everybody has been guessing the whole Otto's still in control of the mine or whatever. People have been guessing stuff like that. The only way they can keep people guessing and being really for sure freaked out over this is if it's something like Gwen's return or like you said, Harry, for a movie tie-in.
What if they brought back Uncle Ben?
Oh my God, no!
Then this is the worst writing ever, and I'm going to be mad. Sad Panda.
boycott the book.
Dan Slott will be like, I can't win. They boycotted Superior, now they're boycotting Amazing. Screw it. Let's go back to Spectacular.
I didn't really bring back Uncle Ben. It was a joke. Aunt May just said, your Uncle Ben's here, and I had a bowl of rice sitting there on the table.
Oh, gosh.
Because you know Dan Slott would do a joke like that, it seems like.
Yeah, probably. Uncle Ben. I just think that he is one of the very few characters that Marvel could not possibly bring back.
You bring back Uncle Ben, you destroy Spider-Man's very reason for being.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think they're gonna go there. I'm thinking it might be either Otto or Harry Osborn. That's what I'm thinking.
If they bring back Uncle Ben, it'd be the same thing as reading the new issue of Batman, the New 52, and ending 0 year and finding out, nope, his parents weren't dead all along. I mean,
wait, what?
It would be like finding out in the New 52 Batman that his parents were not dead all along.
Wait, that actually happened?
No, I'm saying that it would be like that.
Oh, dear God, okay. Oh,
the reaction you got.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was like the reveal. I haven't read it yet. I was going to actually go down to the comic book store tomorrow and pick all that up.
Dude,
so
why would they bring back Batman's parents from the dead?
I don't know. That's why I was freaking out for a second. Don't do that to me.
You just gave Thomas a heart attack.
Oh, God.
Anyways, if I could finish my little thing about the synopsis.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually don't mind the whole Superior thing because I think it worked. Because when I read that, it worked exactly the way it should have. I read that in the solicitation that it says the only one person who can stop him is the Superior Spider-Man. Your mind immediately thinks, "Oh shit, Otto somehow is also Spider-Man," or Peter and Peter and Otto are somehow sharing the mind or something like that. And then the next line is, oh yeah, this is an Amazing Spider-Man title again. Oh, nope, I guess we're screwed. Okay, that one, then I can get the laugh, because they were trying to trick you as, oh my God, Otto is still Spider-Man, and then nope, it's Peter.
Yeah, but I also am kind of worried that they're going to actually keep Otto Octavius. Somehow, kind of emulate Superior Spider-Man. Like with what happened in that issue #1.
Honestly, the only way I see they're going to do Otto is that Peter's going to have the guilt trip. He's going to have the whole Otto was in control of my mind. He's going to have to deal with literally all the shit that Otto caused. It's going to be him who's going to have to clean up this whole mess. And that's how Otto, because Otto's technically going to be torturing him, because everywhere he turns, he's going to be reminded of what Ock has done for the last year.
That's true. Although, I would also like to talk about the cover here for a second. The cover by Humberto Ramos. That is awesome. That is probably one of the very first images by Humberto Ramos that I actually legitimately love completely.
That cover is gorgeous. I will not deny that.
I think that is probably the best artwork I have seen from him, or at least one of the best. That is completely awesome.
I still think
he's got a new suit, too. Electro's got a new suit to tie in with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well, guys.
Did anybody else find it completely hilarious a few weeks ago or whatever it was when Dan Slott had an interview and somebody said, how is the Electro tie-in going to work? And he outright said, don't worry, he's not going to randomly be black now or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I didn't read that interview.
He said he's not good. We're not going to see the movie. I don't know if he said it outright because that'd be kind of like, I think, racist maybe. If he said outright, we're not going to magically turn him black. But he did outright say he's not going to be a movie Electro out of nowhere. He is going to be classic Ditko, Stan Lee, Electro.
Well, they just made him blue. So I think that's the way that they're going to tie it in, is just make him blue.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the easy way to do it.
Yeah.
But any other
Because it's
thoughts
not
on
like
Amazing?
the Avengers, what they've been doing recently with Nick Fury.
Oh, yeah. Marcus Fury?
Ultimate Nick Fury.
Yeah, Marcus Fury? Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man number 2 solicitation?
I'm super excited for this. I can't wait for Peter Parker to be back. But also at the same time, I better enjoy Giuseppe, or however you pronounce his name, Camuncoli's art on the Superior Spider-Man while I can, because I'm going to be stuck with Humberto Ramos. But if every piece of his art is as good as the cover, I might not be too upset about that.
It won't. Thomas, it won't. Telling you that now. For every good piece of Ramos art, there is a terrible Ramos art waiting.
Well, I thought that was the first cover.
Trust me, I thought that way too, where it's like a roller coaster with him with me.
Oh, the first cover, bad. The second cover, good.
I gotta say though, why couldn't it be Ramos who went to go do the X-Men book or whatever? Why did it have to be Stegman? Because I love Stegman's art.
I like Stegman's art too, but I would have rather Camuncoli stay on this title.
Yeah, I am a Camuncoli fan, personally.
Yeah, I was really
I'm
hoping for that.
One, the Ramos style that he does, that kind of anime blocky style, Stegman would have been the way I go, because I think he does what Ramos does better than Ramos.
I was really hoping for Camuncoli. Probably the best artist on Superior right now.
Oh, easily the best artist on Superior right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but moving off of Amazing Spider-Man number 2, we got a solicitation for giant-sized Spider-Man number 1. It's basically just going to be 4 Titanic tales set in Spider-Man's past. It's going to be 64 pages, all ages, $4.99. Anybody going to pick up giant-sized Spider-Man number 1?
What?
Well, I already feel like I'm getting one Spider-Man story set in the past with 1.1. I don't think I need this.
It's filler.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
These are just those pretty much what it is, because you know Marvel does. They do these what if, in the past, things that happened years ago stories that they want to throw in, on the back of an issue, but they don't have time to put it in there. So when they're running out of time, they decide we put 4 or 5 of them together and we call it a giant-sized annual or whatever and get done with it.
Yeah, I also think that it looks very Marvel Tale-ish to me. Marvel Tale Spider-Man, remember that series?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very Marvel Tale-ish to me. So,
am I the only one who's going to pick this book up?
Yeah, I would say you probably are. Well, I mean, if the word of mouth is good about it, again, I'm just not sure if I want to pay the extra $5 for it. Especially the all ages part kind of alarms me.
I'll pick it up. I will check out the first issue.
Thomas, watch. It is just old Marvel Tale stories that they just had to throw in somewhere.
Oh my god, yeah. I could totally see that happening.
I will pick up this issue just because I'm interested in what they're going to do. But you know what? I'm not really that negative towards it. So, you know what?
I'm not negative towards it. I'm just indifferent.
I'll pick it up. But
I'm saying that that month for Spider-Man, I'm already going to be picking up Amazing. I'm going to be picking up Learning to Crawl.
Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man. That's what I'm going to be doing.
No, I'm not picking up Ultimate.
You're not going to? Oh.
Wait, is that 200?
No. 200's in April, and then Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is the next month following 200.
Yeah, which is in May, and that's actually what I want to talk about next. Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man Part 1 of the biggest Spider-Man story of the year revival. Basically, they say this issue can't be missed. 32 pages, $3.99, rated T+. Thomas, since you're the big Ultimate guy, I know you're not a big fan of Miles Morales, but you are a huge fan of the Ultimate Universe. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man #1?
It actually sounds like they're getting back to that classic kind of Ultimate Spider-Man feel that I really liked, because the biggest problem I had with Miles Morales is that not only did I feel he was sort of dull, but I felt at the same time that his origin was basically all those 30 issues. Pretty much. I think it was actually 28, but it felt like it was the whole thing. All those 28 issues were just all his origin. And now that we can move forward off of that, I think it'll be interesting to see Miles do it. And then the story of the year, Revival, kind of gets me wondering about some stuff. The big villain that they tease. eh, I think it. I think it'd be. I think it'd be wrong of anyone to basically guess it was anyone other than Green Goblin.
Norman.
Hmm.
Yeah, but so Thomas, you're definitely picking up this issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially after Ultimate Spider-Man number 200, it says that I'm guessing that that one kind of leads into it, and they keep saying that the last pages of these books are gonna uh, be like the biggest pages of the year and all this other stuff. So they're definitely hyping this up, and I definitely need to see what's going on. Revival is definitely a title that's kind of freaking me out because we never saw Norman Osborn die, so I don't know who they're bringing back.
All right, James, what are your thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man #1?
I honestly don't have much to say about it.
You're not at all interested in it?
Not really, because I haven't been interested in Ultimate since Ultimatum. I haven't been
Oh my
interested in
god.
any Ultimate Spider-Man, any
Yeah,
Ultimate Line book since that crossover. Because when you kill off half the universe, why the hell should I care about what you left when you killed off everybody else?
Well, it's also kind of funny because I feel like it's become the Ultimate Universe staple where whenever they're like getting low sales, they're going to be like, so let's see, the part of the problem why we're having low sales is because we killed off all those characters. You know what the solution is? Kill off some more. Clearly, that's the solution. That's the direction we need to be heading. They just
Yeah.
never seem to learn their lesson. But you know what?
The only
Miles
thing,
Morales, I'm going to give him a shot. I definitely am. I think that what I've been hearing about it, it's only been getting better since I left the book. So I'll definitely try to check this out as a good jumping on point.
okay, the title is Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. The storyline is called Revival. The cover of 200 has the split mask, and they talked about pissing off the fans. Peter's back. I don't know if it's a clone, he's back from the grave somehow. Peter's back.
Yeah, see, I had that exact same thing, and I was telling you guys about it on a few shows ago. I'm starting to actually go back on that as well. I don't think he's coming back.
You don't? Okay, I want to hear this.
It just seems like they're like after number 200, they were talking about the big page at the end, and I'm thinking that is definitely the best time if you're going to bring Peter Parker back. But then they have the big villain from Peter Parker's past. That sounds like they're bringing Norman back at the end of issue number 200. So it sounds like if they're not bringing back Peter in that issue, then he's probably not coming back at all. So
Yeah, but they say that for issue 1, the last page of that will leave you screaming.
yeah, but why
They-
would they? But
Well,
why
think
wouldn't they
about
do it on Ultimate Spider-Man number 200 when they have Peter on the cover, rather than do it on another issue which doesn't have as many people going to check it out?
No. My point is, you have Peter somehow back alive. He says, I had to come back from the grave, or whatever you do to explain it, because I have to get this guy. And it's very vague throughout the whole issue. And then the last page of this issue that leaves you screaming is it's Norman. That issue 1 has Norman, and 200 is Peter.
I really hope you're right because I really want to have Peter
Or-
back.
Or that the reason why Peter was able to survive is because before Norman killed him in the death, Norman gave him the Goblin formula, the Oz formula. I mean,
Yeah,
And
see, I don't know about that one.
Sure. I know it's crazy theories and it's probably never going to happen, but what if it's Peter who's the Goblin and if it's just him?
Oh my god, if he's the Goblin, oh, that'd be creepy.
And
I'm
that's like
thinking.
the last thing to leave you screaming because the Goblin de-evolves and he, goes back to be normal, and they expect it to be Norman, and it's Peter laying there.
Actually, it would make sense to actually introduce Peter Parker back in Miles Morales. The more I think about it, because of just how much less of hype that one would have compared to Ultimate number 200, they could go back to Miles Morales and then introduce Peter, and then more people would go to buy that one. So maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. But the fact that they're calling it Revival, and if they keep the solicitations this vague throughout it, and it's like a 5-issue arc or whatever, they can like keep that reveal under wraps until the point where they're like that, and then after issue number 5, they can introduce a new Peter Parker series. So I don't know. I'm thinking that it might happen. I really hope it does, but we'll see. I'll definitely pick it up.
All right, my thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man, or Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I'm definitely going to pick this up because I am going to give Miles Morales another shot. I'm not the biggest Miles Morales fan. Everybody knows this, but I want to give the character a shot. So ultimately, I will be picking this book up. Mm-hmm. So and hopefully
we'll be review buddies.
Yeah, you know what, Thomas? I'm going to ask you this on the air. Will you review Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man for the site?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. So I've got that.
Oh, come on. You give him the comic book Ultimate Spider-Man, but I get the cartoon?
Yes, because you even said you're not going to buy the book. So
I would rather read the book than watch the cartoon.
You're the one who agreed to it.
It's a joke. Oh, come on, man.
I know. I'm kidding.
But yeah, I'll definitely review this. I'm definitely looking forward to trying out Miles Morales again. I hope it's a lot better than when I tried the first time.
All right, so that's really it for the solicitations. So final thoughts. May's going to be a big month for Spider-Man.
And so is April. Like, building up to the movie, I'm super excited. Past March, everything is going to be so much hype. I'm super excited.
All right, so moving off from that topic, we got 2 behind-the-scenes featurettes for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hang on a sec. Let me just pull them up on my iPad. Oh, look at that. I already have the first one pulled up. So we're going to start with The Price of Being a Hero featurette. I'm assuming you guys have both seen it. Am I correct?
Yes.
I love it.
I love it.
The best one so far of all these featurettes. I'm saying it now.
Mm-hmm. All right. I didn't really care for the environment one because it wasn't like any new footage really, but this one has a ton.
Well, because people know you hate the environment, Thomas.
I don't hate the environment. Well, would someone who hates the environment take AP Environmental Science? Answer me that question, okay? I don't hate the environment. I am one of the biggest environmental advocates you'll ever meet.
All right.
Don't say that.
But we'll start with our general thoughts on this featurette. Kind of like how we reviewed the trailers a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Couple weeks ago. We'll start with our general thoughts. So, Thomas, we'll let you go first because I know you have probably less to say than James. Thomas, what are your general thoughts on The Price of Being a Hero featurette?
Like I really do enjoy this featurette. Just general thoughts. It's a very good featurette. It shows off new footage without. I don't think it gives away any more like of the actual story that's actually going to matter, other than the George Stacy ghost haunting him, which is definitely at the beginning, as we can see. It doesn't really give away anything more than the trailers have already given away. So I'm not. So it was definitely a good adage without adding too much, like telling us too much. But when the third trailer, or whatever you want to call it now, comes out in a little while, I'm a little scared about the spoilery stuff.
All right, James, general thoughts on The Price of Being a Hero?
I liked it. And I like it mostly for the comic booky elements that you're seeing the movie's going to have. Like the scene where he's in the store because he's got a cold or a flu or whatever, and he's sneezing, he's coughing, he's getting the medicine, and the guy's being held up. So he has to quickly put on the suit over his clothes, and then as he's talking and paying for the things as Spider-Man, he's like, yeah, I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man. That is classic Peter Parker luck. That you literally can open up an issue, well, maybe not Superior, but you can open up an issue of Spider-Man today and see that scene.
All right.
And the Gwen part where she's talking about going to college, and she brings up going to England. That, to me, is another comic book hint that she's going to die. Because as everybody knows, she went to Europe to have the Stacy twins, which it's probably not going to happen here, but she went to Europe then. That's where Norman went to go hide after he quote-unquote died, and so did Harry after he quote-unquote died. So I think that's like the little nod that she's going to England and Europe. She's
so
not.
Norman Osborn's gonna die, and then he's gonna go over to Europe, and then get Gwen Stacy pregnant. She's gonna have the kids within a couple weeks, and then
No, I'm not saying that, dude. I'm saying
okay, I'm sorry. I just couldn't resist like pulling your buttons there.
What
I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying
That's
is,
what she said.
I saw that as I'm probably completely off, but I saw that as a nod about how everybody associated with the death of Gwen Stacy went up to Europe in the comics.
Well, I think also there was a story before where she went off to London because her father died or whatever.
Amazing
and then
93 to 95.
Yep, and then
Which
he
is
went
when
over,
she had
and then
the
Peter
twins.
went over there, and then because Spider-Man was there, and he couldn't go see her because everyone would know that there was a connection between Peter and Spider-Man when he went over there, so he went back home without seeing Gwen.
And if he would have saw her, he would have saw little goblin babies coming out of her. Because that's when the comics say that they were born, the Stacy twins.
All right, but my general thoughts on this featurette, I liked it quite a bit. There was some new footage shown in it, and we'll talk about it as we go through the featurette. But I really liked it. I felt it was better than the other featurette that we got this week. But they were both fairly solid. But I honestly like this one better.
Yeah, me too.
So as we start going through it here, yes, my iPad is on mute. That's very good. Because I didn't want the volume playing. We see, I'm so sorry, I'm late. I had a traffic thing. Did your traffic jam involve, I don't know, the Russian mob? And we see Spider-Man fighting Alexei Sixevich and pulling his pants down. Am I the only one who says that that's major Orsi Kurtzman writing right there?
Yeah, I would definitely see that as a staple, but at the same time, it emulates what he did with Doc Ock in the Ultimate Comics when he was fighting him, how he pulled his pants down. It definitely feels kind of that way to me. So,
do you have
anyone who says that this
that?
isn't Spider-Man and he's being a dick again, no. I'm saying that that's him being Spider-Man. So
He does this all the time in the comics. I remember during Brand New Day, there was an issue right after Norman took over the government and S.H.I.E.L.D. and turned him into Hammer, where he took down a supervillain. I forgot what villain it was. And the villain says, the second it comes out that you arrested me, Norman Osborn will make me out as the hero, and you're the vigilante freak. So what are you going to do about it? And then Peter says, to scare the living crap out of this guy, I'm going to give you the most evil thing. You're right. This is a dark time for us, and I'm going to do something I never thought I would ever do, and you will feel the pain. You will have to feel my rage. And then the guy gets all scared to death, and it's Wedgie. Peter has done this.
That's Brand New Day writing right there.
It's Slot Brand New Day writing. I think Slot wrote that issue.
Do you have an issue number on that?
I gotta find it. I think it's in the late 500s. It's like 590 something up.
All right,
okay.
I'll look that up after the show. But yeah, that to me, that was in the Comic-Con trailer, so it's not really new footage to me. But that was the first thing I thought when I first saw it, and I still think it now. That is Orsi Kurtzman writing. That's like I know that might be Spider-Man-esque, but I just cannot get that out of my head. That's Orsi Kurtzman writing right there. I'm sorry, but I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's classic them. But as we move along here, of course we got the whole that was implied. I was implying that the price of being a hero. We get Mark Webb talking about how this movie is kind of saying, if you're Spider-Man, can you be Peter Parker? We see Peter sitting on a ledge. And then we get my favorite part of this featurette, which is Gwen at graduation. She's on the phone with Peter. She's like, where the hell are you? And you see Spider-Man on the front of a truck talking on his cell phone, which is absolutely fantastic. I just love the fact that he's literally holding on to the police car by like a light or something, and he's talking on the phone. He's just like, yep, I'm having a phone conversation. This is what I do every day. I absolutely love that. I thought that was priceless.
Yeah, I thought it was also funny, kind of like emulating just the regular comics, how Peter was always late to everything, and how he's going to be late to his own graduation because he's dealing with the Rhino and everything. And I love the scene. I love how she's like, "Are those sirens?" He's like, "No." And she's like,
Peter?
No. Just the way that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone play off of each other is what makes this film franchise so great. So I think that's definitely the best part of the featurette for me as well.
Are those sirens? Looks to his left. No.
Wow.
Peter?
No.
I absolutely loved it. I thought that was priceless. I absolutely adored it. But, shit, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. As we move along in this featurette, we see, Emma Stone saying, they're trying to find their footing, trying to decide whether or not they're going to break their promise to the father. And then we see George Stacy all bloody and beaten up and basically ghost form. Peter says, I don't know what to do. I see him everywhere I go. I can't get him out of my head. And so, what do we think of George Stacy haunting Peter Parker in this film?
I think that it's definitely playing off of the fact that Peter is feeling his classic guilt over not being able to save George Stacy, and on top of that, breaking the promise that he made to him as he was dying. And I think that is basically paying respect to just like what everyone's been saying. Oh, that's not Peter Parker. He would never break that promise. And, he's having trouble with it himself internally over everything. So I definitely think that kind of downplays just what everyone's been saying about how he's so irresponsible and kind of doing that. It's him trying to debate whether or not he should have broken that promise in the first place. So for me, this is definitely a good thing.
Or James, what are your thoughts on it?
First, I went through my back issues while you guys were talking, and it's Amazing Spider-Man 590, the Fantastic Four issue, and I'm just rereading the panel right now, and it's just hilarious how it is. Because the guy's like, please don't, I'll do anything. Oh, it's a wedgie, I hate you! But anyways, about the featurette, I agree with you guys. I love the Gwen scene where it's almost he's doing classic Spider-Man, trying to keep the secret identity, but she already knows. It's more of I don't want my girlfriend to be pissed off at me because I would rather be Spider-Man than at our graduation.
But what are your thoughts on the George Stacy haunting thing?
We have had this before in comic book movies where the hero sees the ghosts of the dead people from the franchise. We had this, in fact, a lot in the Raimi trilogies where, like, every movie after the first one, Peter dreaming about Uncle Ben and him and Uncle Ben in the car, basically, and Harry seeing Norman. And so this is nothing new, really. The hero seeing the ghosts of a dead person and them haunting them because of the decisions they made after the movie. So it's nothing new, really. I'm just happy they brought him back because I actually really did like him in Amazing. So if he just comes back for a few scenes as a ghost watching him, I'm cool with it.
All right, and as we move along here, we get the scene that James mentioned earlier, Spider-Man stopping a robbery of a convenience store and buying medicine because he has a cold. He's even dressed up for winter weather, so, apparently, it's going to be cold out or something. But obviously, James, you're a fan of this scene.
That was the first one.
What?
I thought that was from the first one, that's why I talked about it then.
It is in the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're still on the first one. But yeah, James, so I take it you're a big fan of this whole scene right here?
Well, because like I said, that's classic Peter Parker at its best. He's in a convenience store getting stuff to feel better. It's getting mugged, so he has to quickly put the suit on. And at the same time, if we're taking out the guy, he's paying for his stuff, and the guy keeps on screwing up the name Spider-Man, and he's trying to explain, no, it's Spider-Man, but he can't say it because he keeps on sneezing and coughing every 5 seconds.
I'm Spider-Man. Achoo! That's kind of what it basically was like to me. That was pretty good. I like that quite a bit. But as we move along here, we get Rhino, Electro, Goblin. We get shots of them. We get the whole I was cleaning the chimney scene. We got that. Once again, we got that whole scene. They're beating a dead horse with that. And we get Peter talking to Aunt May saying, I need to know the truth about my parents. And then there's a shot that a lot of people are talking about. Gwen looking up and Spider-Man sort of quickly looking away. do we have any thoughts on this scene? Like what it might be? Is this her leaving for England, or what's it going to be here?
I don't know if that's the scene when she's leaving. I think it's just they might have had a big fight, and she's just telling him, "I'm going to go to college there," and then he's depressed or whatever because she's upset at him. Because I honestly don't think she's going to get on that plane. I think it's honestly she's going to die before she gets on that plane.
I don't know. I mean, like, it would be kind of weird if Gwen went off to college and then legitimately came back in the same movie. That would be kind of weird because they would probably happen within like a half an hour of each other. So I'd agree with you, James, there that I don't think she's going to get on that plane either. I'd agree with you.
What if this? She and Peter has a fight after the Times Square fight with Electro. And you think the movie's done or whatever. And then the Goblin shows up. Like, they don't show him at all mostly. You see Harry in the build-up and you think it's for the next movie if you're watching it as an audience. She tells Peter, I'm leaving. I'm going to wherever, leaving for England. And then as soon as she gets off the taxi, almost like in the comic, all of a sudden the glider comes swooping in, grabs her, and takes her off, and Peter has to go save her. And that causes the final fight with the Goblin and her death. Is that she was on her way to it, and that what gives even more Peter guilt is that the last moments he saw Gwen alive, they fought.
I don't know about that. That's an interesting theory, but I don't really think that that's going to be how it goes down. I think they are going to break up, as they are probably going to break up because of this college thing, but I don't think that they're going to leave each other on bad terms. I think they are going to leave on good terms, and I think this shot is more of Peter just, kind of watching her get on the plane but looking away because he's ashamed because he can't look at her because he's going to cry. Because, I mean, as Andrew Garfield said in this interview, Gwen is the love of his life, and so he has to deal with losing her as well. And so now that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. So any other thoughts on this whole this little shot here?
Just I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
All right, and as we move along here, shit, my iPad just locked, so I gotta unlock it again. As we move along here, we see Spider-Man going to save the city. We get the whole scene where Gwen reveals that she is going to Oxford, and he's torn, and he says Gwen's the love of his life, and he doesn't know how to deal with her. Now, there's a shot here of Peter's bulletin board in his room, and there's a card that says, "Do I have to something you too?" What is that L word there? I honestly can't make out that word.
What part? You kind of broke up a little bit. I couldn't hear you on my end.
There's a shot where Peter's looking at his bulletin board, and there's a yellow note card. I don't know if
I saw that and I thought it was something important, but I just never went back to go watch it to see what it was.
Where are we?
For anyone who doesn't know, Thomas just went to go to the bathroom or something.
No, I had to talk to my grandma.
Oh, okay. But we're talking about that little shot here of Peter's bulletin board with the yellow note card on it.
Oh, yeah.
What does that say? It says, Do I have
to love you too?
Oh, see, I could not make out that L word. I was like, is that a misshapen Z or something?
No, it's do I have to love you too.
Sorry if you hear some noises in my background. I'm literally rewatching this to try to see if Thomas was right.
Yeah, I was like, legit, I could not make out what that word was. So, any thoughts on this?
I think it's just basically Peter trying to figure out, like, okay, so she's moving to Oxford, and I think that they kind of break up.
I already said that they're probably going to break up, yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically Peter saying, I have to keep the promise to your father, and it's better if you move away and do all that stuff. So, and then this is after the breakup scene where he's just not having too much fun. When he's in the winter clothes, I actually didn't get to talk about this, but I think it's actually going to have some time skip in this movie.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because when he'd graduated, it'd be in June, So to be wearing winter clothes seems a little bit odd. So I'm thinking that it's probably going to be like maybe like a 6 month skip to like December again.
In the scene where Gwen says, "I'm going to Oxford," they're outside. There's Christmas lights, and they're wearing jackets there too.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely thinking that there's probably going to be a time skip in this movie, which will make it interesting because they'll already be like college age and everything.
I think that the movie begins with, maybe January, a little bit after Christmas, and that's when she says, "That's what my plans are at the end of the year. I'm going to Oxford."
No, the movie would begin in
and then the finale is going to be in June. The ending's June, and it's all just in that 6-month time period between June and January.
Yeah, but the graduation scene's at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I think that was confirmed somewhere.
It's in the next featurette where they say that they hit the ground running with the rhino thing,
Yeah.
and then that's during the graduation, as we see. So
Yeah, so that's ultimately... I'm sorry, James, but the graduation's at the beginning. So,
and then Peter being sick, I also want to point this out because I wasn't here. I was rereading The Death of Gwen Stacy, and he was getting sick during that time period as well.
yeah, he was sick because of the events of 119 and 120.
And he was sick, so he was like feeling lightheaded and everything, and so I think that's actually just like kind of like another like reference sort of to that as well.
That I actually did not think of that. That could actually be cool.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that as well. Just kind of like a little reference to that.
I did not make that connection. I actually hope they do that.
Yep.
But finally with this featurette, we just get the same shot of Spider-Man webbing Gwen's hand to the car. Not really anything new there. She's like, "I'm coming with you. You know that you need me." And then Spider-Man just puts his hand over her mouth and said,
and he's like, "Okay, all right, you can come with me." And then he like goes like, "Just put down the thing," and then, "Oh wait, nope, sorry, you're not coming with."
"I'm sorry, I love you, don't hate me."
Yep. Yeah, the whole Peter thing is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
I know it's hilarious and everything, but Gwen Stacy is the worst secret identity keeper. At the graduation, there's people all around her sitting bunched up right next to her on the benches. Those things are crowded. I know, I graduated high school before. They can all hear her on the phone, and she's like, "Peter, are you being shot at by the Russian mob? Are you being shot at?"
No, that's during their date scene. That's during their date scene.
But she does say, "Are those sirens?"
Yeah, but that could be for anyone.
She says Peter, though.
Yeah, but she doesn't say Spider-Man. That wouldn't give anything away. It's just, "Peter, you're near a place with sirens."
No, but she does that, and then here she screams Peter. But think about it. Peter Parker's gone, okay? She's clearly getting mad at him. She's asking, "Are those sirens?" And she goes, "I can hear them. Are those sirens?"
I don't think the graduation scene is as dead of a giveaway as you think it is, but this one is definitely a giveaway, as you can tell.
No, I'm actually saying, though, I actually kind of like that one better than the graduation part. Because in New York, there's probably a billion Peters.
Yeah.
So if some random person walks by and hears her name scream Peter at him, okay, I know Spider-Man's name is Peter. I don't know anything else to fuck about him, but his name's Peter.
I don't know what his last name is.
She's yelling at Peter
about the sirens
and getting
about sirens. That doesn't give away that he's Spider-Man. You could say that about anyone. If they're walking by a bunch of police sirens, you could be like, "Are those sirens?" "Peter, yeah, but they're right next to me."
Yeah.
It doesn't really give away anything. I think that it may be a little bit reading too much into that. But if she does give away that, like, he's like kind of insinuate that he's Spider-Man right there on the bench, I'd agree with you that that's kind of too far.
How awesome would it be if that whole her screaming Peter is the reason that Electro learns that Peter is Spider-Man?
I really hope Electro actually doesn't learn Peter's Spider-Man.
He has no reason to, because it's Spider-Man he's obsessed with, not Peter Parker.
Well, I'm just kind of hoping that he doesn't learn it, because it'd be nice to have a villain. I'm just saying that it'd be nice to have a villain finally that doesn't know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Every single Spider-Man movie that we've seen, every single villain knows that he's Peter Parker.
Well, I think that's because, it makes it more personal and with the villain and stuff like that.
Yeah, but with so many personal villains, like Green Goblin is definitely going to know Peter Parker Spider-Man. We already know that. So why does Electro and Rhino have to know? I'm hoping that they keep them, not knowing.
I hope they keep them not knowing, and they pull with the lizard, and they're alive.
Yeah,
because that's the one thing I always hate about superhero movies is that you kill off the villain. Because love that.
No, there'd be no way that they're going to kill off these guys, especially with the Sinister Six movie. They need all the villains they can get in order to get the Sinister Six movie. No, I wouldn't worry about them killing them off.
If any villain's going to die,
even if they learn the villain, even if they learn his name, I don't think they're going to kill him off. Definitely not. Other than Harry, maybe, because then at least you have Norman Osborn to replace Harry.
I think it's going to depend on how this movie does, if they're going to kill off Harry or not. And what I mean by that is how the reaction of people are with Harry. I wouldn't be surprised if they go, like similar, we heard this about other superhero movies before, where they were going to kill off a character, but they really liked the guy so much they kept him alive. I can see them being like that with Harry, like maybe they planned to kill him off, and then they decided to keep him alive in sequels, and he's in a insane asylum getting help for his goblin insanity or whatever. But I got a feeling he's dead. Especially if he kills Gwen, he's going to die.
I have a feeling that Harry's probably going to die as well, and then that leaves Norman Osborn open, because I feel like they think that Norman Osborn is a bigger name, so if they kill off Harry, who cares? But if they kill off Norman, then they kind of like ruin just like a whole bunch of stories that they could tell with him. And I think Harry's kind of like a one-shot kind of guy, like with the Green Goblin identity, so...
All right.
Yeah, but my problem with that, Thomas, is if you're gonna use just that, they were better off just having it being a mindless, intern at the place. Oh, I can't think.
He doesn't have the connection to Peter though, and that it almost, I think, makes it even stronger if Harry kills off Gwen rather than Norman. Norman really didn't have too much of a connection to Gwen, which is why they had to do that awful Sins Past tie-in. Well,
that's what
Harry has such a connection to Gwen. I mean, in the comics at least, but I think they might actually end up tying that in some way. Maybe they go out for a little bit after Peter breaks up with her, and that's what happens. It'd be interesting to see if that happens, but I'm not even going to go into that. But it's Peter's best friend who kills her, and not his best friend's father, which draws out the connection a little bit less. So
yeah, but I think Harry's going to kill her off in this movie, and I'm okay with it, because at least it's a goblin doing it and not Electro. But my only problem with that is then you make Harry this irredeemable monster to people, and everybody who knows, from the comics and whatever, Harry is a redeemable guy. He dies. Here he was evil.
If you play it correctly, though, you can make him redeemable. If you make it basically just like, it's almost like Norman's kind of like hypnotizing him. If you play it correctly, you can make him redeemable and make it all Norman's fault. But I'm a little worried that they're not going to play it correctly too. I will admit that as well.
All right, but any final thoughts on this Price of Being a Hero featurette?
I really liked it.
I got one. Does anybody know what the hell's going on in the scene when he webs up the car and goes driving by with it or whatever it is? Because you got the shot of him walking by the people on the sidewalk, and you got a Stone Angel-looking chick, wig, Statue of Liberty. Is it a costume party? Is it just supposed to be a normal day in New York? What is it?
I don't know.
They said if you look in the Enemies Unite trailer, it showed that Times Square is being closed down as Spider-Man's speaking onto that little elevator thing. I think it's a parade.
It's possible.
I think it's a parade, and then Spider-Man just comes out of it, and nobody really thinks anything of it, because, Spider-Man's a costume character too, and then he just grabs onto it, and it's like, oh, that's the real Spider-Man. Okay.
You know what? That's a good theory. That could actually happen.
Yay, unlike my Norman Osborn.
That makes a lot of sense, because I'm looking at the freeze frame right now, and it's just flower dress girl, Statue of Liberty, cowboy American flag lady, which is probably the thing that Peter Parker talked about washing, rainbow afro clown, a weird gigantic stone angel wing chick, and then a homeless hobo with a boombox.
All right, but
it's the Sinister Six, guys.
But we need to move on to this final featurette here. Official lights, camera, action featurette. First off, we'll go general thoughts on this featurette. James, what are your general thoughts on the lights, camera, action featurette?
I like it. It's pretty cool. I'm rewatching it right now as I'm talking to you, and I think I love it how it's just mostly talking about how the action's going to be in this movie. And we in an action movie, obviously that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about it though, because like you said, if you saw the other trailers and featurettes, you mostly seen these clips before. So
it's a lot of recycled footage.
Yeah. So
this I don't have much to say about it, unlike the other ones.
Yeah, I just want to get our quick thoughts on this. Basically, really all that was revealed with this featurette is that during the truck rampaging scene, Andrew Garfield was actually on the front of a truck, which I was like, wow, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield's awesome. I just feel like he has such love for the character, which is why he does all this crazy stuff. And it really shows that he really loves the character that much that he would do stuff like that, because he is really in danger of hurting himself really badly in those situations. And Tobey Maguire didn't really do too much of that. A lot of it was CGI, and you could tell. So
yeah, I want to commend Andrew Garfield for all the stuff he does on this movie. He even says, whenever they let me get into the suit, I will do whatever they want. So,
Hey guys, I'm rewatching it, and there's a shot of a plane on fire coming crashing down.
Yeah, that's
I got two things to you guys. Do you think that's the plane that Gwen was on flying to Oxford that the Goblin might attack to get her? Or do you think that's the parents' death scene? Because everybody who reads the comic know they died in a plane crash.
That's the parents.
It's the parents, because they also show Richard Parker fighting on the airplane with the guy. And they also did say in the first movie that they died in a plane crash. So this is the plane stuff with them. I think this is the opening scene. So just kind of like the first movie started with a flashback scene to his parents, this one's going to start with a flashback scene to his parents, and then it's going to start up with the Spider-Man stuff.
All right. So really there's not much else to say about this featurette. It's cool that Andrew Garfield is willing to do all this stuff. So I guess we'll just go final thoughts on this featurette now.
It's a solid featurette, I suppose, but again, I was spoiled by the last featurette because this one's just doesn't contain much. It's a bunch of recycled footage and a little bit of added Comic-Con footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing it adds more footage to the race scene. Not the race scene, the scene with the truck and the cop cars. But besides that, it's nothing much.
All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for all the news this week. So we got one more thing to do, and that is my classic review for this week. Today's classic review is going to be of Amazing Spider-Man number 15, which is the first appearance of Kraven the Hunter and the second appearance of the Chameleon. The issue is written by Stan Lee and illustrated by Steve Ditko. The basic synopsis of the issue is that Kraven comes to New York City after being called by the Chameleon to hunt Spider-Man. Kraven quickly shows his skills, and Peter Parker thinks, oh crap, I'm totally screwed. So Spider-Man and Kraven have their first fight, in which Kraven hits Spider-Man with some special potion that makes him dizzy and makes his hands shake. So Spider-Man has a bit of trouble, or Peter Parker, I should say, has a bit of trouble the next day hiding the after effects of this potion from his Aunt May. Meanwhile, Peter's relationship with Betty is kind of on the rocks because of the whole Liz Allen and her crush on him. Really, Spider-Man just goes and fights Kraven again, and Spider-Man ultimately ends up beating him, and basically everyone lives happily ever after. So that's basically all we can say about this issue in terms of synopsis wise. So what is my grade for this issue? I'm honestly going to give this issue an A-. I really did like it. I liked a lot of the parts to it. The only real con I had from this issue was the Betty Brant scenes. Once again, she's annoying, she's stupid, she doesn't add anything to the plot that's good. It adds drama, but ultimately it's just annoying. It really doesn't add anything of worth. So really, ultimately, that's all I have to say about the cons. Pros for this issue, action sequences. Really liked the action sequences in this issue. I thought they were very engaging. I really liked that little added thing to the final battle where Kraven puts those shackles on Spider-Man with the bells and the magnetic attraction. So it's kind of weakening him a bit, but ultimately Spider-Man stops them with his webbing. I really like that. One, it showed the ingenuity of Spider-Man, and two, it made the situation worse for him. And it's always good when you have a good way for your hero to get into trouble, so I really did like those. I like the Chameleon being in this issue. It was good. Why Spider-Man didn't figure out that the Chameleon was there when he saw two Cravens together, I don't know, but you know what? I was willing to let that slide. It was actually kind of disappointing to see Kraven go down at the end of this issue after his reputation as being the greatest hunter in the world, but ultimately, he's the supervillain, so of course he has to go down at the end of it. But overall, I like the action sequences. I like them quite a bit. Peter dealing with the whole potion thing and the shaking. You know what? I was just wondering throughout this whole issue why he didn't just say, low blood sugar, because I've had that problem before, low blood sugar. When I don't eat, my hands start to shake. So I was wondering why he didn't make that excuse. But that's a minor nitpick. It's not something that really needs to be discussed in great length. Kraven was built up as, and this is another pro for the issue that I have, Kraven was built up as this massive force to be reckoned with, and ultimately it did take Spider-Man 8 pages to take him down, which I did like quite a bit. I ultimately felt that he got a very good send-off after this issue. He was dealt with in a very, very good way. He was dealt with in a very solid way, and ultimately his defeat didn't undermine the threat that they built him up as. Ultimately, the fact that it took Spider-Man so long to defeat him kind of supported that fact that he is ultimately a force to be reckoned with, so I did like that. A couple little trivia points about this issue. Once again, this is the first issue with reference to Mary Jane, so anyone who's wondering, when was Mary Jane first brought up, it was in this issue. She's not actually seen in full until issue number 42, but this is the first issue where she's referenced. Of course, this is the first appearance of Kraven and the second appearance of the Chameleon, and all that wonderful stuff. So, my grade for this issue, I'm going to give it an A-. I had a few nitpicks with it, but nothing too big. Nothing that brought the issue down too much. So, James, you wanted to talk a little bit about this issue. So, what are your thoughts on this issue?
It's a classic. I had the essential for this issue, and I loved reading it. It's big and famous, because it's the first appearance of Kraven in Kraven's Last Hunt, and he's a big famous villain. But it's mostly just famous for, that one panel where Aunt May goes, "I just got done off the phone with Mrs. Watson, and her niece Mary Jane would like to go out with you." And it's that first reference to Mary Jane, who would become one of the most iconic characters in this whole franchise. So it has that place just for that one-off line of Mrs. Watson wants to go out with you.
All right. So, what would you give this issue as a grade, James?
I would give it like a B plus, and it's good, and it has classic Stanley Steve Ditko, elements to it, and the Betty Brant stuff, which I'm not going to try to do a Joshua Bertoni, Betty Brant hate, Peter, you're dating Liz. I'm not going to try anything like that, but pretty much it's classic Betty being a bitch.
All right. Thomas, do you have any thoughts on Amazing 15?
Yeah, I've actually read it, so the fact that it references Mary Jane is definitely a good thing, although I have to say, Peter, you're an idiot because you didn't try to, get in there earlier, but whatever. I'd give it a A-. I definitely like the issue. I don't think Kraven is that strong of a Spider-Man villain up until Kraven's Last Hunt. I always thought that he's kind of a joke of a Spider-Man villain up until that point. He's just not. I don't think he's a very strong villain compared to the likes of the Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus or even Mysterio. I like Mysterio much better than Kraven, but they're all interesting characters. Spider-Man definitely still Kraven the Hunter is still a lot better than a lot of other villains that a lot of other characters get. So, it's definitely a good, solid intro issue. I don't really think that we really needed to have Chameleon be his stepbrother or half-brother or whatever he is. I can't remember what it is, but I don't think we needed that. But, even with it, it's a pretty solid issue. So,
all right, so that's going to end this week's classic review. I know it was very quick, but these are getting shorter by the week, I feel like. But ultimately, that's going to do it for this week's classic review, and that's going to do it for this week's episode of the SpiderNerd podcast. Wow, this podcast has gone longer than I thought it would. But that always happens, so that's not really a big surprise there. But James, final words for the listeners before we sign off?
Scooby-Doo told me to do it, so I don't know. I gotta find something creative to say every week. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, if you're dead or just cheaply plug my other podcasts every week, and I don't think people will start getting annoyed if every 5 seconds it's watch Angel Grove, watch Angel Grove, watch Angel Grove.
Yeah. But Thomas, any final words for the listeners before we sign off?
The first rule of Fight Club, never talk about Fight Club.
All right. And my final words for the listeners are just try not to kill anyone. Those are my final words. Try not to kill anyone.
Don't kill anyone. Spider-Man's coming back. Just stay calm. Spider-Man's coming back.
Yes. All right. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Oh yeah, Thomas, how's your girlfriend?